What's going on, YouTubes? This is Kyle Hackney, aka Hack Attack Fitness, and I'm here with you from my car to do another little vloggity vlog. I don't know why I'm calling them vloggity vlogs, but apparently that's what they're called now. Desperately in need of a haircut. I'll probably get one of those in, I don't know, like fucking 2 weeks or something. I'm very bad about that sometimes. Anyways, the topic I wanted to come to you today with is the topic of, I guess this is like a twofold thing, is how much weight should I lose per week during a cut, and also how much should I cut calories by every day to lose that weight. Okay, now I'm sure I'm not going to go into this and bore you and be like, well, a pound of fat has 3,500 calories. You probably know all this. I'm actually going to try to offer my perspective on it, which is I do not put a limit on how much I cut calories by on a given day-to-day basis. As long as my performance is good, and as long as I'm not dying, then I will cut calories pretty hard. When I talk to people and they ask me what my calorie deficit is from day to day, usually when I calculate it out, I end up going into a deficit of anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 calories a day. I don't like to cut or diet slowly. I don't like it. It's not fun for me. I hate it. I hate dieting, and I do not want my diet to go slowly. Now, people will say stuff like, oh, but aren't you worried about losing lean mass and stuff? And I say, well, I hit a bench PR the other day. No, I'm not too worried about it. The thing about it is when I'm cutting and I have that much of a deficit, I'm still eating 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. Why am I eating so much, you might ask? Well, the reason for that is because I am incredibly active. I do 2 to 3 hours of cardio a day via cycling or whatever. I also do 2 to 3 hours of weight training a day, and that's all circuit training, basically. So I can eat a lot and still go up with a big deficit. I typically aim to just eat however much I burn that day, and then I let my basal metabolic rate be my deficit. It works very, very well. And the thing about it is, in general, there is no one-size-fits-all answer to this question. I don't care who you are. You do not know until you try to push the limits here and there how much you can actually cut by and maintain your strength and maintain your muscle mass. And a lot of things play into this, like genetics, drugs, what you're eating, how you're dieting. If you're doing something stupid like 18 meals a day of chicken and rice, then yeah, you might think dieting's a bit harder than someone who does, if it fits your macros, like what I prescribe, and, can have the foods they like while still cutting. If you're one of these people who thinks cardio will ruin your gains and, make you lose even more strength or whatever, then you're going to have to eat a lot less. If you just don't have time to do cardio, you're going to have to eat less. But I prefer to make the adjustments calorically by increasing activity and then decreasing food if need be, which if the caloric deficit's there, it won't be. It won't ever be necessary, really. I prefer people to eat more on a cut and just move more because it's a lot, better, in my opinion, because you can become more conditioned, your body gets more apt at using fat for fuel. Besides that, if you just are taking a lot of time to do physical activity, you're going to burn more calories, sure, which means you can eat more. But it's also going to take up time that could otherwise be spent about how you're dieting and thinking about how hungry you are and thinking about how much you want that fucking pizza or something. I don't know. That's the thing. Dieting is mainly mental. The body can withstand huge amounts of physical stress and recover just fine, and dieting is no exception, even hard dieting. There are a lot of programs out there like Lionel McDonald's Rapid Fat Loss Handbook, which prescribes very, very large caloric deficits in basically what amounts to a protein-sparing modified fast, and just for short periods of time, short bursts, as it were, and then having a refeed. And the thing about it is that seems to work very well for a lot of people, especially those people who have a lot of fat to lose. It works very well to just drop calories low and keep protein high and then up activity. I mean, this is basically because their body is sort of at that point where they want to lose that excess fat, you know? As you get leaner and leaner, in my opinion, it becomes a bit of an individual situation. I'm prepping a couple clients right now, one of whom he keeps his 90 minutes to 2 hours of cardio a day. He trains with me, and he's getting lean as shit, and he goes just fine on big deficits. Some people, handle smaller deficits well. It's a completely individual thing, and unless I have coached you specifically, and I have prepped you specifically, I have no idea how much you should cut calories by every day, because everyone is different. I can cut calories by huge amounts and be okay, even while I'm getting lean, even while I'm already pretty lean. The thing about it is some people need to have much shallower deficits. Some people are prone to binge eating. Some people are prone to this or that or the other thing. You have to take into account all those individual factors, and that can't be done just with like a blanket question like that. There is that good, solid, general, aim to, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds a week, aim to 500 calories a day, something like that. But that being said, it's not like it's not gospel, You can cut, depending on what you're doing that day, whether or not you even have time to really eat, whether you're just busy all day. There are so many factors that go into it that it's just a bit asinine to me that people will put these arbitrary numbers on cutting and then pretend that it's the best way. Like, people can get results as long as the caloric deficit's there. It doesn't matter how small it is, doesn't matter how big it is, you're going to get results eventually. Another thing is, I personally prefer to have larger deficits, with also larger refeeds, and larger cheat days, refeeds, whatever you want to call them, free meals, I don't fucking know. I prefer to do this because I found it works better for me, because it satisfies my tendencies to binge eat. It satisfies my fat kid desires. And honestly, no matter how much you eat, it is hard to out-eat 6 days of eating at like a 1,600, 1,700 calorie deficit. Not only that, because I'm still eating 3,000 or 4,000 calories a day and have my carbs high, my protein high, my micronutrients high, I never feel starved. I always feel great. Like, I'm never lacking for energy. I'm never lacking for strength. And people will say, but that's impossible. And I will tell them, but I'm doing it. That's the thing about this, is you are an individual, and you have a responsibility, if you take this sort of thing seriously, I believe, to try to test your limits here and there, not just in lifts and PRs and, bench press or whatever, but in also things like mental strength and dieting and, things like what kind of caloric deficits your body can handle, how quickly you can bulk, how quick without putting on fat. There are a lot of things that go into this besides just lifting. It's really as deep as you want to run it. And so, I guess that's a very ranty, roundabout way of saying, when I prescribe deficits to people, I typically go with the biggest deficit I can have them do, while increasing activity, and while their performance stays high, and they stay mentally sane and physically satiated. If you look good and you feel good, if you're dieting on if you have a 2,000 calorie day deficit, and you feel great, and your lifts are fine, then why would you change anything? Because some scaremongering motherfucker comes up and says, you're gonna lose all your lean mass. But you feel great, and your lifts are fine. If you get it into your head that you're gonna lose lean mass, and you're gonna fucking crash and burn, you just might, because the mind is a lot more powerful than your physical limits. Up here is 99% of the battle, and if you can master that, then basically everything else follows like just water. It flows out of you, because it is a mental battle. The entirety of this whole shebang is almost entirely mental. And if you can master the mental part of it, the physical will follow, especially if you know what you're doing and you pay attention to your body, you listen to your body, and you auto-regulate. That's all there is to it. So, that's all about I have to say on how much you should cut calories by during a deficit, into a deficit when you're dieting. You know, cut calories as hard as you can, up activity as much as you can, and see how much, and see how you can hold on to it. If you start burning out, lower activity a little bit, bring calories up a little bit, play it by ear and find what works for you. But no one likes to diet for like 40 weeks straight. So I'll tell you what, how about you just cut as hard as you can, as quick as you can, and let's all get fucking shredded for summer. Also, there's a fucking Maserati right next to my car, and I am jelly as hell. Alright guys, this is Kyle Hackney signing out from Hack Attack Fitness. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Also check me out on Instagram at KyleHackFit, and I will see y'all later.